Okay guys, let me ask you a question. Are you looking for financial unity in this country? Bear with me till the end of this video and you'll know what I mean. The answer to that question for me is yes. And what better way to get it than the system that we already have in place? And it's a system that's worked for almost 100 years between the Federal Reserve taking care of our monetary policy, Wall Street taking care of all the big investment banks, and our government, who just lets these private entities run our economy, and they do it so efficiently that why on earth would these so-called patriots and truthers want this to change? Well, tonight I want to make a video that explains why we need Wall Street and how they're going to take us into the future. Okay, first of all, let's go back to the Reagan era. Okay, let's go to the chart. Back in the Reagan era, our stock market was doing fairly well, right about here. Okay, we had the introduction of Alan Greenspan and his style of monetary policy, and that carried us through Reagan into the Bush/Clinton era. Okay, monetary policy was going along pretty well, and then we had between the Bush-Clinton era on up to Bush Jr. era, we had some aggressive policy changes by our government that led to destructions of things like the Glass-Steagall, that ancient, dated piece of legislation that was really holding this country back financially. And what happened then? We saw a massive growth in real wealth in this country. It took us from a level of here all the way about up to right here. Okay? Now we went along at this level, sailing along just fine for almost a decade. So we'll mark it as about here. Little fluctuations up and down, but all in all, we ended up roughly in the same spot. Then what we see happen? Well, we had a thing called the subprime mortgage meltdown. Now let me tell you just a little bit about that. A lot of people want to blame the people on Wall Street. They want to blame the Federal Reserve or our government for letting this subprime loan happen. Nothing could be further from the truth. The fact of the matter is, the people who caused it were people like you and I. That's right. Now, I myself don't have an Ivy League education. That's why I trust in the people on Wall Street and at the Federal Reserve to know what's best. But people like me and you, let's face it, you too, went out and you bought way more than you could afford. Yeah, you had a professional sitting across from you saying that you could do it, but you should have known better. It doesn't matter that they were advertising nonstop around the clock to get a $400,000 house when you made $25,000 a year. The final responsibility lays with you. So what happened? We saw a massive sell-off on Wall Street, and it crashed all the way down to here. Boom. But we were lucky because we had a real student of history in charge of the Federal Reserve, Ben Bernanke. And him and Hank Paulson, Treasury Secretary, went right to work to fix the problem, and they did. They took it from here in no time right up to here. Okay? And this is where it sits till right now. Okay? So we'll go from here to right now here. Now, we have a problem. Okay? We have these pesky truthers/patriots coming around saying, HR 1207, the Fed has too much power. It's ridiculous. And what's going to happen if they get their way? We're going to have another crash. And I don't know, it might come down to here. But is that the future we want? Is that the financial unity that's going to bring our country back into leading the economic world? I don't think so. Let me connect these dots and show you what I mean. Reagan era, pretty good. Going into the Bush-Clinton era, pretty good. The Bush era, Glass-Steagall, repealed. Unbelievably good growth right there, okay? Sure, every market has its ups and downs. We're going to have that. No question about it. But when we give the Fed and Wall Street the power to regulate themselves, they know how to take care of a problem. And when we, the non-educated, non-worthy, really, to be in charge of our own financial future, when we get involved and cause a major decline like this, they're here to back us up. And boom, they do it. Right to there. Now, are we going to let these truthers and patriots ruin it all and bring it right down to here again? I don't think that's the answer. Do you? No. Let's give the power to the Federal Reserve to be in charge of these banks, the small, the big, all the financial policy of this country. After all, they have our best interest at heart. And we will soar to a new future, new heights. So what I'm saying to you is, don't believe the hype of these truthers and these patriots. Believe the Fed. Believe Wall Street and the government. Because that's when we're going to get true financial unity. And after all, ladies and gentlemen, isn't that what we deserve? That's all I got.